Today we're just north of the city of Toronto in Unionville, Markham at one of the oldest and grandest golf clubs in the land, York Downs. We're going to show you this course, and you're also going to meet a club maker who has his own crazy fan club. All that and more today on Score Golf TV.
This is Score Golf, the voice of Canadian golf. Score Golf is powered by Volkswagen, from one good drive to another. Michelob Ultra, now available in Canada. Now, here's your host, Bob Weeks.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Score Golf TV. Well, today we're just north of the city of Toronto, beautiful Unionville, Markham, and we're at York Downs Golf and Country Club. This is one of the most historic country clubs in the nation. Dates back to the 1920s. In fact, it was originally located in an area that's now, well, uptown Toronto. It's been out here for more than 40 years, however. We're going to show you this golf course and everything it has to offer throughout our show today. We're also going to introduce you to Scotty Cameron. Yes, the guy behind those putters. We'll tell you what makes him tick. But to start things off this week on Score Golf TV, let's have a chat with some PGA Tour players.
Prospective, meeting today's PGA Tour stars.
This week we thought we'd get some PGA Tour pros to talk about the mistakes amateurs tend to make on the course. And to tell you the truth, most of the mistakes amateurs seem to make happen before they even hit the first hole. Here's what Luke Donald had to say about what he's seen when playing with amateurs.
Yeah, we play pro-ams week in, week out, and it's the same every time. You know, a lot of the amateurs believe they should be better at driving, but really their short game is what gets them in trouble. They can never get out of trouble with their short game, and they lose a lot of shots around the green. So, you know, if they spend 10 or 15 minutes lagging some balls, putting in, you know, making some 4 or 5 footers, doing a little bit of chipping, they would eventually see a lot of results.
Oh, Luke speaks so politely when he's talking about others. Stephen Ames, on the other hand, is a little bit more direct in opinionating a common mistake he sees amateurs make.
Not jumping out of your car and jumping on the first tee and hitting driver, that's a pretty common thing I think we all see. Guys coming from the office, jumping on the tee, swinging driver away. Yeah, my body would hurt just thinking about it. Just a couple swings to warm up, hit a couple wedges just to get the feel of it, and working through that. Majority of the problem with most amateurs when they're jumping out is that their posture is so poor, only because of the fact that they've been sitting on the desk for so long. When they come and they stand over a golf ball, they still think they're sitting at the desk. So they kind of look really funny, and that hinders their golf swing more than anything else.
David Hearn's take on amateur golfing mistakes, it has to do with course management and the mental aspect of the game.
A lot of club players that I play with, they base every shot they hit on the perfect shot. You know, out here we hit a lot of good shots, but even we, play for a little bit of a miss here or there. And I think some guys, they always choose the club that's going to be the perfect shot. And I think if players learn to play the middle of the green more often and forget about the pin, and I think that would really help them out a lot.
For Jim Furyk, the 2010 FedEx Cup champion, amateurs need to look no further than their own golf bags, as their faults may lie not in how they're hitting the ball, but what they're using to hit it.
As you get older, you'll lose some distance and guys are going to bomb it by you. That's not really an issue for me because they did that when I was younger. So I'm used to it. And I've swallowed my pride for years out here as far as distance is concerned. You know, a lot of companies make good equipment. But what I'm really appreciating about Callaway is how they fit me, how they put me into the equipment to maximize what I can get out of it. And I've learned a lot through the process. And it's important for every level, if that makes sense. You can having equipment that fits you, irons that goes through the ground properly, shafts that fit you, and we all have a little bit of a macho attitude. We don't want to go back to the regular flex shaft or the 10.5, 11 degree driver, but at times if that fits you, the hybrids in your game rather than keeping a 3-iron in there. A lot of amateurs, especially the men out there, don't want to do those sorts of things, but in talking to Callaway and trying to get back to what I was doing in the past, they've really helped me get there.
Furyk is back hitting Callaway irons for the first time since 1998 when he was a staff tour player. The change has helped his game improve in 2012.
I spent some time in the off-season with Callaway out in San Diego and Carlsbad. I'm playing a new driver this year in the Razor Fit. I'm playing a new set of irons, new shafts. that I'm able to hit the ball higher and softer and spin the ball more than I ever have. And I kind of went back to a product that spun a little bit more with the golf ball, and that's my forte. It's not hitting the ball long, it's being able to work the ball, keep it in play, hit some different shots, and you need spin to do that. So I really worked hard on it with them. I got back to some of the people I represented in the past are now working for Callaway, guys that have built my equipment and I've been involved with for years, and I feel very comfortable with them, and the guys there at the company just did a great job of helping me fit myself and get in the equipment that I love right now.
We'll take you to a wonderful private club, York Downs, just north of Toronto, right after this commercial break. Well, York Downs Golf and Country Club is celebrating its 90th anniversary this year, and there's a reason why this club continues to grow and to thrive. And we want to show you as we take a look around York Downs.
Time now for Planet Golf.
Located in the heart of Unionville, Ontario, York Downs Golf and Country Club is set in a gorgeous landscape of mature trees and rolling hills. One of Toronto's oldest clubs, it's a facility that attracts golfers with its very playable design, as well as families for its excellent service, great amenities, and tremendous value.
York Downs Golf and Country Club was established in 1922. The club is celebrating its 90th birthday this year. It's been in its current location here in Unionville, Markham for approximately 42 years. We have some real exciting things planned for the golf course and the clubhouse in the next little while. We've recruited and engaged Jeff Mingay from Mingay Design, a golf course architect, to help us with the bunkers, with the greens, with the practice facility.
For golfers, York Downs is nirvana, with 27 holes, an enormous and well-maintained driving range and practice facilities, incredible junior programs, top-notch service, and its policy of no tee times. Just show up and tee it up when you're ready.
It allows us to tee people off a lot quicker than any other sort of normal 18-hole golf course. For example, on a Saturday or Sunday morning, we'll do about 100 rounds before 10 o'clock, and we get everybody out in absolutely no time.
In addition to 27 beautiful holes, this club has an established membership that crosses generations. Over the years, parents have signed up their children, who in turn have grown up at York Downs and are now bringing their own kids to follow along the same path, learning, practicing, and now playing along with their parents. Take Jeff Turner. He's been playing on this course for over 40 years.
My dad came here from Summit when it was built in '71, and he came here because he had a 5-year-old kid who couldn't get on the golf course at Summit, and there was a driving range here and access to the golf course. So he brought me out. At the time, you had to be 12 to come here. He said, well, kick me out, I'm bringing him. And I, just grew up playing here. And when I was 12, when I was old enough to join, that's what I did. Spent every day in the summer here. So it was great.
Considering the amount of hours Turner's spent hitting balls on the range and off the tee decks here, there's no better person to explain what makes York Downs Golf and Country Club such a wonderful club to be a part of.
3 main reasons. Number 1, access to the tee. You don't have to have a tee off time, so if I'm going to play at 2 o'clock, I don't have to rush out of my office and get here, I just come. And when we're ready to go, we go. We walk to the starter's hut, we say, we're ready. Number 2, it's an easy walk. The tees and greens are close, and you're off the green onto the next tee. I don't know what the average time to play here is, but it's less than 4 hours. So the 6-hour round or a 5-hour round, that doesn't exist here. And the members are good. There's a good group of people, and the culture's good, and everyone has the same kind of idea of what they want out of a golf club. So those are the things that make it great.
York Downs has all the essential features that make clubs fun to be a part of. Now, what about the course layout? What makes it such a fun track to play?
This golf course protects par well. When they designed it, there's 27 holes here, and the whole philosophy was to have any combination of 9s be a similar game. So you go out there and it accomplishes that. It's hard to get it around in a good, real low number, and it kind of surprises you that way. You look at it and you go, wow, how did that happen? How did I not shoot the lights out? But it's tough in its own way, and as it's gotten older, the trees have grown, and the greens, as they matured, they just have developed these little subtleties that make it defend par well.
The course is full of intrigue, so I thought maybe I'd get out and hit a couple of balls to check it out, taking Jeff along with me as my guide. Okay, Jeff, so this is, which hole is this now?
This is 9 north.
9 north, okay.
Real good finishing hole, 425 yards, dogleg left.
Oh yeah, that'll play.
Lovely.
Considering the early season, York Downs was in incredible condition, with lush green fairways and silky smooth greens. But conditioning is just one more highlight for this unassuming course that has a bit of bark and bite to it.
It's in good shape, and it's almost always in good shape. We've got a superintendent who's been here for 20 years. He was an assistant before he became the head guy, and he's fantastic. And he knows where all the problems are, or where all the trouble spots are, and he does a real good job of just, you know, if there's some water, he gets rid of it.
You regularly birdie this hole?
I don't regularly birdie any hole.
That's looking pretty good. All right, looks like I still got about 200 yards here. This is going to be a heck of a finish here if I'm going to get this, try and beat Jeff here.
Good shot.
We'll revisit York Downs Golf and Country Club in a little bit to find out more about their junior program and to see how Jeff and I finished out this hole. Well, the ranks of Canadians playing on the PGA Tour this year is a little slim. We've got Mike Weir and Stephen Ames and Graham Dillette and David Hearn and Hunter Mahan. Hunter Mahan? You didn't know he was Canadian? Take a look. Through the first part of the 2012 PGA Tour season, Hunter Mahan was arguably one of America's hottest golfers. He's risen from 22nd to as high as 5th on the official World Golf Rankings. He's finished in the top 25 in 7 out of 8 starts while winning twice. And of course, he knocked off Rory McIlroy to win the World Match Play in a sterling performance.
Hunter Mahan stands alone as the champion here in the desert.
And while the California-born Mahan is American through and through, part of the reason for his success in 2012 can be found in the team he's assembled to help him. They all share one common denominator. They're Canadian.
I like Canadians for some reason, I don't know why. Surrounded by them. The fact of the matter is, people in the golfing field, from teachers to physio guys to agents and stuff, they're top of their field are Canadian, and you know, I love Canada, so I better enjoy what they're giving me, because they're giving me a lot of great success and a lot of great knowledge.
Mahan's coach, of course, is Sean Foley, the mercurial swing guru from Burlington, Ontario. His trainer and nutritionist is another Ontario guy, Dr. Craig Davies. Toronto's Chris Armstrong is Mahan's agent. And the newest addition to his team is his mental coach, Vancouver's Jim Murphy, who Mahan says has provided a much-needed calming influence.
He's someone who just trying to get the most out of me in my life. And golf being a part of my life, it's just trying to get the most out of that within myself, you know, because golf is, you know, physically, there's so many guys who can hit the golf ball like no one's business, you know, that's not an issue, but getting the most out of yourself each day from a personal and from a professional point of view is what we're trying to do.
With Mahan dealing day in and day out with Canadians, we decided he needed some help to understand what they're all about. And so we gave him a crash course in being a knucklehead.
Oots in a boot. Sort of. No, wait, no. Pop. Right, good. Got it. Oh, so sorry about that. Oh boy, I hope he's okay. Yes, it's a donut. Oots in a boot. Does anyone have 2 loonies for a toonie? A latte. Yes.
Woo! So when you're looking at the leaderboard this week, remember Hunter Mahan may not be Canadian, but his success could not have come without help from north of the border. Coming up, putting guru Scotty Cameron talks about his newest 2012 gear. Earlier in the show, Jeff and I played our second shots at York Downs Golf and Country Club, and now I need this chip shot to keep on pace for par. I'll take it. One of the best features about being a member at York Downs is the junior program. Kids are given the opportunity to learn the game while spending their summer days outdoors. The program includes a sponsorship element for promising golfers who may not have anywhere else to play.
I joined with the Sponsor Junior program back when I was a kid. Played a lot of golf, met a lot of great people. I know for sure that we do have one of the best junior programs, you know, in our neck of the woods, and practice facilities is top of the line. I'm here virtually every day slamming balls. There are, you know, great short game facilities, 3 9s, no tee times. That's incredible. I can come over after dinner and play 9 or play a couple holes.
What better place for kids to spend their summer months than out on a golf course? And at York Downs, the practice facilities and golf pros are there to help them with their game.
There's probably 200 juniors here. We have a junior clinic program that has 120 or 30 kids involved twice a week. And the pro shop, there's a dedicated pro to the juniors. He's responsible for the juniors, making sure they behave themselves right, they have fun, they know what they're doing, and they have access to the place. You know, and not many kids can come out to any golf course and say, you know what, I want to play.
Growing up, I used to spend like days out on the practice range. You know, you play 18 in the morning and then just hit balls until it's pitch black. I take a lot of lessons here personally, and I feel like whenever I'm struggling with my game or something, there's always pros down on the range that are willing to help out.
While there are many longtime members at York Downs, as with many private clubs in Canada these days, its doors are open for new golfers who are made to feel welcome at an established club with all the benefits you'd expect from such a facility. It's got beautiful tree-lined holes, well-manicured fairways and greens, and numerous options for membership. Time to wrap up our visit to York Downs Golf and Country Club. I've got one final putt to drill. I'll take it. York Downs Golf and Country Club, a home away from home for many golfers living in and around the Toronto area. Well, a lot of golfers have seen the name Scotty Cameron on the bottom of a putter. A lot of PGA Tour players are using Cameron putters, but there is an actual guy, Scotty Cameron. In fact, he is a true artiste when it comes to making these blades. And we want to introduce you to him this week on the Technology Report.
The Technology Report, a look at the science, research, and development of the game.
Scotty Cameron's putting studio is unlike anything you've ever seen. Not only is it a museum of his greatest creations, but it's where his designs come to life, and where he admits his imagination sometimes leaves consumers guessing.
You know, I like to hear from the consumers, and I love to see the feedback. Sometimes I think they're not going to get certain things and wonder why. For example, I have black putters with black sight lines. It makes no sense, but it's cool. I didn't want the sight line to overwhelm the head, so the putter's kind of a matte black. It's a gray with a black sight line. It looks mean, slick. I thought people would say, I don't get it, but they get it. So it's fun to see the reaction.
Cameron Crazies, as they're affectionately known, follow their putter maker's career as though he's a rock star.
100 bags, $498. We sold out of the 100 in 2 minutes. Problem is, we oversold it by 333 bags. That's a problem.
And while their passion sometimes surprises Cameron, he says they provide valuable input.
You know, I enjoy meeting these guys. They're crazy. They're absolutely nuts, and I love it. In Canada, everybody's lefty. So they've kind of forced me to do more left-handed stuff. So I have 2 more left-handed putters in the line this year because they kind of forced me into it.
Cameron doesn't just have clubs to offer his loyal Canadian fans. He is nearly as passionate about creative head covers he fashions for his putters. With thousands of different designs to choose from, Cameron clearly isn't afraid to let his imagination wander.
Whatever interests me, you know, like a hula girl and hula head covers, and Tour Rat came from cars, hot rods, which are, they call them rat rods. Just any, for example, I'm working on a new ball mark. Handmade ball marks, painter's palette. So I like the feel, it feels like a bean. So I'm a golfer, I'm a crazy nut golfer. So whether it's a grip or a ball mark or a pivot tool or a head cover, I'm a crazy golfer. So sometimes I wonder if, like I said, if guys are gonna get it, and these guys get it. So if I love it, I think they're gonna love it.
PGA Tour players certainly love the addition of long putters to Cameron's collection, and this year, the Master Craftsman is unveiling a special treat for the average Joe.
We're the #1 long putter on the PGA Tour. We've done our homework, and we're still learning. So I've debuted a long putter called the Big Sur and the Golo. And they're here, and they've had a great response, especially because we have one that's adjustable that you could go 3 inches longer, 3 inches shorter, and lock it into play. We call it a fitting tool, and it is a slick deal. Most people don't like the long putter because it's awkward, but if you can adjust it to what feels good and anchor that, this new tool is only going to help things get easier on fitting long putters.
Well, there aren't many practice facilities like this one at York Downs. This is an amazing place, all sorts of great areas to practice, whether you want to practice your putting, your driving, your chipping, your short game, whatever it is. And they have the luxury here of having it. And of course, they teach a lot of lessons here. Now, we wanted to bring you all out here to have an experience with this, but we couldn't do it. So instead, we're going to give you a lesson from one of the teaching pros here, Chris Bratton.
Swing School, lessons to help you play better golf.
Another spring windy day here at the golf course. Tip I'm going to give you today is chipping and bumping and running shots around the green with your hybrid rather than the standard issue sand wedge shot. Most of you just automatically opt for the sand wedge, hit that regular shot, it gets up high in the wind, and next thing you know, you're 10-15 feet from the hole rather than 5 feet. What we're going to do is change clubs, use our hybrid. A couple of things change when we get our hybrid, obviously significantly longer, so the first thing you're going to do is choke up on the club. Basically get right down to the end of the grip. You're going to stand much closer to it and slightly taller, again due to the length of the golf club. At this point, rather than doing your regular chipping motion, we're going to simulate a putt. I think that if you apply this to your own game, you're going to find that you get much more consistent around the greens and end up making pars instead of bogeys.
When we return, we'll wrap up another episode of Score Golf TV from York Downs Golf and Country Club.
Week Speaks is brought to you by Bushnell, makers of the Pro 1M and Tour Z6 rangefinders.
When you talk about private golf clubs these days, it seems that there's a little bit of the Chicken Little syndrome. Yes, the sky is falling, and all these clubs are supposedly on the verge of closing up. Well, you know what? I did a little survey, phoning a few clubs around from coast to coast, and the answer really isn't quite like that. In fact, many of the golf clubs these days, private golf clubs, are thriving and growing. You see, out of the downturn in the economy, when they were hit hard, it forced them to get creative, to get innovative, to sell different kinds of memberships, to make their memberships more available, to put trial and test run memberships on the block. And you know what? Those have been very popular. And the result, we've got golf clubs now, private golf clubs from coast to coast that are actually thriving and actually once again have waiting lists. And if you are a golfer who's thinking about joining a private golf club, well, there's probably never been a better time. Yes, you can get in there for a good deal, you can spread your payments over, and you can join a club where there's a great fraternity, great camaraderie. There is nothing like being a member of a golf club if you enjoy playing with your buddies and coming out and enjoying all the things that private golf clubs have to offer. There are still, of course, many great public facilities that you can play from coast to coast, and if you like to do that, certainly that's the way to go as well. But private golf club memberships right now have probably never looked better. That's all the time we have for this week on Score Golf TV. Join us next time. In fact, next week for our 1-hour equipment special. If you're in the market for new clubs, if you want to check out all the drivers, putters, and get some inside information about what goes into making all those clubs, stay tuned for Score Golf TV's equipment special right here on TSN. Don't forget to check us out on our website and follow me on Twitter as well, Bob at Score Golf. We'll see you next time on Score Golf TV.
Thanks for watching Score Golf on TSN, the voice of Canadian golf. Score Golf is powered by Volkswagen. From one good drive to another. Jack Link's Beef Jerky, Feed Your Wild Side, and Kelowna Tourism. 19 golf courses from easygoing to ego-shattering.
Clothing provided by Callaway Golf Canada.